Hi, today I'm going to be talking to you about Henri Matisse, who was a very, very influential artist in the early 20th century. Starting off with Matisse's early life, he was born on December 31st, 1869, and was raised in a small town in northern France. His family worked in the grain business, so they were farmers. They weren't insanely well off, but they weren't poor, somewhat middle class, if you will. And funny enough, as a young young aspiring individual, Matisse actually worked as a legal clerk, and art was not on his radar. He was a legal clerk in Paris, and art was not on his radar. But then he went to law school, came back, started doing that, and he took a drawing class in the mornings before he actually went to work. And then he came down with an illness, and in that time that he was sick, he just started drawing. Started painting, just started illustrating things, and that's whenever he really became an artist. So fast forward a couple years, in 1891, Matisse moved to Paris for artistic training, if you will, like many artists do. He met a lot of older, more experienced, reputable artists, and they kind of took him under his wing. And in doing so, he learned a lot about art and kind of honed in on his craft. And then in 1904, in the early 1900s, he really rose to popularity through what would become known as his Fauvistic work in the Fauvism period. He loved using bold, vibrant colors and the harsh, distinctive brushstrokes. There was no blending. Everything was very harsh yet cohesive in the way that he painted. So he rose to fame because of that. He became the spokesperson for the Fauvism movement in art, although it was short-lived. So then fast forward, after he's riding high on his glory of being the lead of Fauvism in the world, he found a lot of success, became wealthy. He traveled around the world, continued to work, continued to paint forever and ever. Then after Fauvism really died out, he still painted in a Fauvistic way, but he started painting things like full body portraits, nude portraits, things like that. And then books. He got to the point where books started to be wrote about him, which, I mean, if a book gets written about you, then you know that you're doing something right. And then years and years go by. It's really just same thing. He's, at this point, Matisse, he's solidified his place in history, and he's got more money than he knows what to do with. He's set. He's just doing things for fun now. So he gets commissioned a couple things, and later in life continues to work on those, I mean, big things like whole murals and decorations at chapels and things like that. But then, unfortunately, in November 3rd, 1954, Matisse did pass away. He was 84, so he lived a very long, extensive life. He died of natural causes. But even in his death, and even in the time he was alive, he was still regarded as one of the most innovative, influential, and outspoken artists of the early 20th century.